Welcome back to the Talk to Your Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about the Maketoys Visualizer, and it's their take on reflector, and it's a very good G1 reflector, I must say. Now there's some debate and argument whether or not it would be the best reflector on the market, and when you say on the market, I guess that's really kind of confusing because of the fact that it's probably the only one available right now at retail. Now I did pick this guy up from TF Source for $130. TF Direct was out, so I got it from them because it would have been a lot cheaper. But I think 130 bucks for this set is a good price. And I'm going to give you the pluses, the minuses, and I'm going to go through all this and show it to you. But there's a lot to like about it. First thing I want to do is compare it to the G1 version, and we're going to compare the alt mode, and then I'm going to go into a lot of the details here. My G1 version is kind of a bastardization of a cross between the US release and the Diaclone release. Or it's not really even Diaclone, it was a whole different thing. It's one of those things that wasn't part of, combined with some of the other things that Hasbro brought over here. I think they brought about 6 or 7 different toy lines over under the Transformers banner. So while we have this bad boy in camera mode, I want to talk about a couple of features. First off, getting into this form wasn't horrible. I thought it would have been a little easier than it was, and one of the problems is I get it all tabbed together and it starts to come untabbed, and so I don't like that. It's like these here. So if you get it together, you put it on a shelf and leave it alone, it's fun. If you play with it a bit, it starts to come untabbed, but it doesn't really fall apart so much. I mean, it's pretty solid. It could fall apart if you're too rough with it, but just getting everything back in the tabs, because I like to have things look just right, I got to fiddle with it. So going into a couple of the features with it though, you do have this flash that opens up to rockets when it's transformed. Now you have to use this adapter piece to put it in here to make it the flash, and what happens is you can actually swap the little buttons. Now the buttons are the opposing sides of the heads on these characters, but you can put the button here, you can slide this piece in right here, and you can have the flash on that side. Basically, if you're left-handed, now this means a whole lot to me because I was at my son's baseball game today and watching left-handed pitchers and left-handed catchers. Left-handed catcher, we didn't have a left-handed catcher's mitt. There was some funny stuff there. But seeing as how you can make this swappable to be left-handed and right-handed is very interesting, in my opinion. Just after we were dealing with all that at the baseball game tonight. Quickly, I'm going to throw up a comparison. Fanstoys over here and the KFC version over here. Real quick, just so you can see. So before we get into the transformation, let's look at the box. This is a good shot of the packaging and just basic what you would get out of a Masterpiece style packaging, and showing you front and back. There's quite a bit of different pictures that you can see on this thing, side to side. And let's compare it to Fanstoys. Fanstoys packaging, the spotter about the same as usual, and they're just basically showing both modes. Maketoys went through quite a bit of a different, I guess you would say, pictorial packaging and showing you so much more. This is the kind of stuff you'd expect if you saw it on a store shelf. I don't think that this stuff's on the store shelf, but I still find it cool. I really like the packaging, and of course, you know, with all the boxes that I keep. Alright, so getting back into the transformation. Okay, so returning from the transformation of this, there's a couple of things I really want to point out. And first off is I had a piece fall off and I wasn't sure where it went. Well, I was sure where it went, but I didn't know which one it went on. And it was while I was transforming it to the camera, and it's this piece right here. So this piece that goes right there, kind of an ankle filler, I guess you could call it. Well, that's the best thing you could call it, is an ankle filler. And there he is. And there they are. So I had another issue. So with the transformation's not horrible, but there's really one major issue, and it's this backpack piece. And if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing it when you're transforming it from robot to the camera, then you find that this piece here actually, there's a lot more to it than it appears. So you actually have to kind of turn it inside out like that to make all of it fit right. Now, so you're going one direction, so the rounded direction like this sort of is going to be the camera mode, and then the squared off direction is going to be for the robot mode. And once you figure that piece out, it makes a lot more sense, and it's a little bit easier to get that piece done, which was kind of confused me, like, why is it so different this go around than the last go around? And figuring that out made it a little bit more helpful. And it all folds inward so the arms can move. But that was a hang up of mine. The other thing, when it's in this mode, make sure that the neck piece is below the top tab. So it's just two little things that hung me up during transformation. Everything else made sense during transformation. Just that whole segment was a challenge for me. And there it is, nice, clean and tidy. So let's take a look at this guy. The whole set seems to have the same articulation, and I was curious if the ankle tilt was there in such an old transformer, but yeah, they have the ankle tilt. So this thing's been around for a while, a few years. So it's got the ankle tilt on it. You do have, it's kind of weird with the shoulders, because the shoulders are kind of just there. There's nothing covering it, no tab. It's just weird the way it's set up. And this piece popped out on me on one of them. When I was transforming it back, I thought that was kind of strange. And then I do love this green, and it's transparent, and there's a whole lot of detail behind there. Like, that's just something that they went a little extra mile. I saw this at my friend, when I was filming my friend Brandon's collection, and I didn't even realize this set was this good. I mean, everyone talks about Fanstoys and how good Fanstoys is on everything, but this guy here is actually pretty decent. Now, there's not a lick of metal in it, other than there's metal right there for that pin, and there's metal for the screws. So I would like to see a little bit more metal than that. There is not an ab crunch, but that's before ab crunch time, and I wouldn't need these guys to have an ab crunch. And the head articulation is up, down, left, and right. Now, they do come with some extra faces. They all come with kind of a mean look face. Like, look how mean my face is. And so people like to use spudgers and stuff, but I just use my fingernail, and they pop off. And then there's a slot. Gosh, that's hard to get on camera. And it goes into that slot right there. It's real simple. Then you get another face, which this face doesn't look like that much different. I think the smirk face, there's only one smirk face, which is kind of strange. It's usually like you get like a smirk face and for each one. There it is. There's my smirk. And then there's like a sad face. I think I'm gonna leave them all. I'll leave the smirk face in, I guess, for this guy. Here's a size comparison to a G1 figure, and of course Masterpiece is going to be much bigger and much better and much better. Here's each of their guns. They're all different, but they're not really all that special, and they're not very big, and I'm probably not even going to display them with their guns. So I'm leaving this funny little weird candy wrapper packaging. Here is the flash that turns into a missile launcher, which he can't really hold. And part of the problem is because the arms are all friction. There's no ratchets in the arms. There's ratchets in the knees, but it's a kind of a ball friction joints in the waist and in the arms. And that is an issue for holding something this big, but holding a little bitty gun, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so here we are next to a Fanstoys figure. Now the Fanstoys figure is taller, sleeker, and more G1 accurate in my opinion, but not that much better. Now this thing, like this set I got for $130, and here's a set for, well, I think it was around $130 to $150 when it came out, but it's, the Fanstoys one is now like $350 to $500 on eBay or non-existent. So, you know, it's kind of like this is the only option right now, in my opinion, to get. And I picked it up simply because I wanted something to mess with, because I'm super afraid of breaking my expensive Fanstoys stuff. I don't flip it back and forth at all. And I wasn't going to transform the Fanstoys one for this video in fear of breaking it or something like that. So, but anyway, I do think that this looks good. I mean, next to them side by side, Fanstoys does look a little bit better. So if you don't have Fanstoys standing next to it, this thing does look pretty good. And I think I actually will display this one and keep my Fanstoys in the box. But I do want to show some closer head sculpts, and I don't really think, I like the metallic look of the Fanstoys, but I don't know that, I like clear plastic, so I'm kind of a sucker for the clear plastic, but I like the metallic there, the metallic here, and some of the pieces. And I want to point out there's no die cast in this, and there is very little. This is probably the least amount of die cast that Fanstoys has put in a figure. So, yeah, it's pretty close actually. Another accessory we have here is this miniature version of reflector that Megatron can carry, and or any Masterpiece Transformer can carry that little one. But it looks kind of cool, if you ask me. I think that, well, they did include it with the MP Shockwave. I think stuff like this is awesome. Here it is compared to the Fanstoys version, so the Maketoys and the Fanstoys. And just cool little stuff like this. I think when one company includes something like this, the rest of them all jump on board and feel like they're obligated. I do want to say this is a good set. I would definitely recommend this set if you don't have one at all, or if you're like me and you want a Fanstoys and you don't want to risk it taking a shelf dive. And it's not that bad. I haven't taken a look at the KFC one, but looking at pictures, I like this one more. Let me know what you think about this set. If you want to pick one up, get yours at TF Source. Like, subscribe, and of course, tell your hanger out.